Welcome to the kitchen, aka the food lab, aka the flavor foundational building, aka I could do this all day, but I want to show you something delicious that you can have for a nice savory breakfast if that's what you're looking for. This is going to be a tofu scramble, and it is going to taste amazing, and it's going to be great for the body, and I'm going to tell you all along the way of why it is great for you, why you're going to feel good not only eating it, but then you're going to feel good afterwards as well. So first, if you hear tofu and you want to run, be not afraid of tofu. Tofu is great for the body. It is shown time and time again to be very beneficial to the body. There's this whole idea that, oh, it contains estrogen and it's bad. It has phytoestrogen, but not actual estrogen. And it is shown to be actually beneficial to your hormones, not detrimental, especially for women across the board. And it is shown to reduce the risk of breast cancer. It is shown to reduce hot flashes during menopause and even menstrual cycle pain during your menstrual cycle. But let's jump into this recipe, and I want you to, before we start, I want you to make this your own. This is how I'm making it. This is what I'm suggesting. This is what I want my palate to taste when I am done and when I eat it. But eat it, prepare it how you want to eat it. What do you want it to taste like? This is just a suggestion. And while yes, the flavor matters, remember ultimately that it is about the fuel. I'm going to tell you about the benefits. You're going to hear about the benefits of each individual item, but remember that food is fuel, and ultimately we want to provide ourselves with the ultimate fuel that is going to make us feel better, perform better, and just live better. So let's jump in. And with that said, when we start this, we are not going to use any oil. So if that's a new concept to you, we don't use as much oil, or if we can reduce it altogether, even better, because it is found to be inflammatory to the body. So we want to reduce inflammation. If we can just do a little substitute, why not? So what is that substitute? We're going to start heating our skillet here with water. So water is all you need to replace oil when sauteing some stuff. So yeah, it's technically more of like steaming it, but this still is going to be delicious. So we'll get that heated up first, and I'll kind of talk you through what we're going to be having and using here. So onions and bell peppers to start it off, because think of this as a scramble, right? So what do you want in your scramble? And onions and bell peppers tend to be first thing that come to mind. And remember that the color matters. So this, yes, red bell peppers, but any other color, green bell peppers, orange bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, they all have different phytonutrients within them, therefore having different health benefits to the body. And yes, the flavor again does make a difference, but you want to think about the flavor. And red is a great color for us to consume. It has great benefits to the brain. It is actually shown the more lycopene, which is the color red, the pigment, it actually shown to reduce depression. So why not have some red stuff in our diet? So as this starts to get the little micro bubbles in it, we can just throw in our onions and our bell peppers. And I also have here some garlic, which, if you know about garlic, garlic is a known antibiotic. So it has been studied. There's well over 1,000 research papers showing how beneficial garlic is to the body. Garlic is essentially medicine, and we take it for granted. We just think about it as flavor, but this is medicine. When we put garlic into our body, it is beneficial. And I'm also sprinkling in a little ginger. So ginger is another one of those kind of medicinal foods. So it has been used for thousands of years, and it is probably one of the most potent natural medicines that we can consume. So if you can just add a little ginger, sure, it's going to change the flavor a little bit, but if we can add a little ginger to our life, then we should definitely do that. So while that's starting to really get going, I'm going to cover it up just to get the heat happening a little more. And so with this, so we don't need oil again, so the water, and if you want to use veggie broth, if you make your own veggie broth, that is even better than store-bought, but this is going to replace our oil. And just the water saute or a veggie saute does the trick. And it won't affect the flavor as much once we start to add the spices, which is where the flavor is. Everything we eat, we season with spices. So we're going to do just that. So as this is going, and it doesn't take much for it to get going, we are going to then add our other things. So we want this to cook first and a little bit more. I'm sure you've cooked before, but to have the heartier vegetables cooking first. So doing that, we'll then add our other ingredients. And I'm going to tell you just what they are. So we have some spinach here, and spinach is packed with iron, packed with vitamin K. And why do we want vitamin K? If we don't have vitamin K, our body, our bones cannot absorb calcium. So we want to have dark leafy greens, which is one of the best foods in the world we can consume on a daily basis. We want to have our dark leafy greens. And if you would prefer kale, try kale. If you would prefer arugula, go with that. But I just have some spinach here. I sliced it up so it'll kind of cook more evenly, so it's not like clumps of spinach, that'll just be little shreds of spinach. But again, make it your own. What do you want to have in there? You add just that. So after that cooks a little bit, and you can start to tell the onions, I'm using red onions, so the onions will start to change color a little bit. So once they do that, I'm now going to sprinkle in the spinach because this is going to cook really quickly. Sprinkle that on in, and we'll see that start to shrivel on up, get cooked rather quickly. And now, one of the best parts of it all, the spices. So, nutritional yeast, the cheesy flavor, packed with your B vitamins, and this is great for protein source as well. And this is, I just have a tablespoon here, and it doesn't take much to get that thick, cheesy flavor going. So add that, and then the spices. So the thing about spices that I really want to say and emphasize is that this is not just flavor. When we add spices, we are adding antioxidants to the mix. Even a pinch. So this is oregano here. Even that pinch, that is adding antioxidants. We want to up the antioxidant count of our meal because the more antioxidants we have, the less oxidation our body experiences, the less inflammation our body experiences, and the better it functions. If we can reduce inflammation, we can reduce all diseases. If we can eliminate inflammation, we can eliminate disease. So again, make it your own, but what I have is a little cayenne pepper, I love cayenne, a little paprika, chili powder, and what I suggest everyone add to their diet on a daily basis is turmeric. So turmeric is one of those, it's literally color gold, but it's gold in the food and it's gold in its medicinal properties as well. Turmeric is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatories in the world, and it just so happens to be natural. So if we can add turmeric, our body will benefit greatly. Turmeric has been used for thousands of years, and just like the garlic and the ginger, the more we study it today, the more we realize, hey, in the ancient times, they were right. They knew what they were doing. They were spot on, and we're just now figuring it out. So I'm going to add these spices to it. Add your own mix, whatever flavor you have in mind. You do just that. And then we're going to continue to get that where it starts to become a nice and pasty mix. And now we add our tofu. And so tofu is a great source of protein, one of the best sources in the plant world. And it is also an excellent source of iron. So we want to add this. It's great for a post-workout. And it has a lot of phytonutrients, as do all plants, that are very beneficial, anti-inflammatory to the body as well. So we're just going to mix that up. And if you want to have, these are in little cubes, as you can see. But if you want to have it just mashed up in a little scramble type, almost like scrambled eggs, go ahead and do that. But something else you can do with this, if you want to bake some potatoes and throw it in the mix, that'd be really good. Probably sweet potatoes would be really good. If you want to mince up some jalapenos, that'd probably be good in here as well. And when you see the pan start to get dry, because it's not oil and the water evaporates, just add a little more water to get it to the moisture that you want. It's that simple. So once this starts, and the tofu doesn't take long to cook, it can be eaten straight out of the package. So we're really just heating it up and letting the flavors really soak up together. And as you see, between that turmeric and the nutritional yeast, it is getting that nice golden flavor that is looking like deliciousness. And this, my mouth is watering as I'm over here cooking it. So while you're doing this and while you're preparing it, think about how else, next time you do it, how else can you tweak it? What can make it better? What will make it even more flavorful, palatable? Pineapples come to mind, maybe cooking in some pineapples into the mix. Oh, pineapples would be really good in this. Yeah, some good cooked charred pineapples in here, be really good. Some Rotel tomatoes would be pretty good in here as well. Yes. See, so think about how can you make it better? How can you make it your own? What spices do you want? What added health benefits do you want as you add those spices? And think about the feel good. Because remember, again, it is about fueling the body. It is about giving ourselves the optimal fuel to perform at our best. Although it will still taste good, but we want to focus on not just the 10, 15, 20 minutes that it takes to eat it, but how am I going to feel for the 2 hours afterwards? That's significantly more time that we're spending after a meal than we are during the actual eating. So let's optimize that little bit of time eating to make that significantly more time feel better. Because we know that the most important thing is the way we feel, and we ultimately want to feel better. That is the goal of all things, to feel a little bit better. So when you prioritize feeling good, you start to prioritize what you put into your body. You start to focus on what you're putting into your body. And if we can see that, let's get this right here and then look good. Yeah. So once you have this, you can either just eat this with a fork. You can put it into a tortilla if you want to have a little wrap. You can even put it on mashed potatoes. That might be good. But what I'm going to do is make a little boat with the romaine leaf. So I guess I'm kind of making a burrito myself. So just get you a nice pretty romaine leaf, and we're going to take our tofu scramble here, throw that on, and what do you want to top it with now? Do you want to top it with some fresh salsa? Do you want to top it with some cilantro? I have a little bit of parsley right here. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of parsley over the top. And I am going to enjoy this. This, if you can see that there, isn't that lovely? So this is great for post-workout. This is great for breakfast. It is packed with protein, packed with antioxidants, packed with the things that is going to help fuel and repair your body as we want it to do. I hope y'all try this out. I hope y'all enjoy it. And I hope that y'all are feeling good. Talk to y'all soon. Oh no, it collapsed. Stronger leaf next time.